Well, in fact, it affects this cooperation or collaboration with our partners in a very different ways. Let's say there were some official lockdowns. At that time, there was no possibility to cooperate, to collaborate. Every people were, let's say, closed at their homes for a few weeks, for example. On the other hand, we have to admit that the possibility of mobilities were smaller. Before, some people, let's say, fear about their lives, about their health, and they led to the conclusion that it's safer and it's better and more comfortable to stay home than to go abroad in a pandemic time. The other problem is that it differs from country to country, but some people are unvaccinated. Those people are eliminated from Erasmus mobility by themselves. Very tough questions that I think that it should be addressed to the academy authorities. I mean, the rector, the pro-vice rector, or to the chancellor of the academy. They are the most accurate person to answer the question. Well, we implemented all the mentioned by you tools, but in fact, I must admit that it's not a new tools. We are already known, and we were already familiar with distance learning or remote learning. I'm also familiar as a European project coordinator, let's say, with the work-life balance policy. It's one of the horizontal policy of the European Union. So from my perspective, that's not a problem that there are new policies, that are new tools. That was new. It was that the scale of this possibilities and the necessity to work, let's say, from home for much longer time than any time before. The same with the students. There was long weeks or even long months which we were expected to provide online lectures, online workshops, and that's changed the situation. On the other hand, there were some really serious restrictions which touch us. I mean, from my perspective, personal perspective, I think wearing the mask in all public surroundings. That's really difficult for, let's say, a longer time. It's not a problem to wear a mask for 15 minutes, but if you have 90 minutes lecture, it's quite difficult to deliver a lecture wearing a mask on your mouth. Also, there was some restriction on, let's say, public transport or public assemblies, which touch us, I think, in every country. Maybe in different way, but in every country. Well, it was really good cooperation. That was a very new situation for all of us. I can see that Polish national institutions introduced very quickly, let's say, anti-COVID regulations. And from the perspective of project management, this regulation were really flexible. It was quite easy to postpone some activities which are unavailable to perform during the pandemic time. It was also possible to receive a formal permission to extend the time of project implementation, and it really helps. Yes, there are some of them. let's say, I think it would be very good idea to introduce some regulations on European Union level. We have admitted that during this pandemic, every country introduced their own regulations, and it differs much from country to country. We also were lack of information. I mean, a precise information, detailed information before leaving Poland to different countries. And we need, let's say, mobile application when the information from at least all European Union or all Europe or world countries would be gathered and possible to receive in a very easy way in your mobile phone. On the other hand, a lot of countries was, or at least some countries, was very inconsistent on following their own regulations. And some people preparing to mobilities were expected to meet these and these restrictions. And when they arrived, they noticed there's quite different situation. Why? The reason was that these restrictions was changing very often. And the other hand, some countries were not good in following their own restrictions. And the other thing, I think that there's also some possible to improve with access to medical services during the pandemic in every country.